Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Live at 4. It's Mark's turn in sick bay today, so Charlotte DeLeste is filling in. Thank you for your help.
Absolutely.
How healthy are you? You've avoided it mostly, haven't you?
Knock on wood.
Yes.
So far, so good.
Good. Keep it going. Keep it going. Mark hopefully will be back tomorrow, but here's what's happening this Thursday. Floodwaters are filling the streets in a number of local communities. We'll have reports from Rose Schmidt and Adam Duxter.
The U.S. Senate defies the president and votes to block his emergency declaration.
And there is another Democratic candidate in the sweepstakes to challenge the president next year. Let's take a look outside today. Boy, we had a little bit of everything weather-wise.
We did. It certainly felt nice to ditch the coats for a while.
It did. It was nice and warm, a little sun, a little rain. The daffodils are popping up on the weather patio, but the weather words for today, colder and drier weather is to come. Let's head out to the patio. Dana Fulton is watching the weather. Hi, Dana.
Hey, it is cold outside right now for us. You may not have needed your jacket earlier in the day, but you're certainly going to need it for this evening and through your Friday and the weekend. Now, looking at our Doppler track right now, we did have quite a little round of rain and thunderstorms rumble through just a few hours ago. We actually did have a severe thunderstorm warning in Rock and Jefferson counties. That is no longer in effect. We don't have any warnings in effect right now for us in southern Wisconsin. Currently, we're seeing some showers towards the southwest corner of the state, but it is still dark and very windy for us in Madison, and we're going to continue to see scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms slide through the rest of the evening. Right now, it's about 43 in Madison, but there's quite a breeze coming from the west-southwest, about 10 miles per hour. That puts our wind chill a little closer to 37. Notice we're 43 in Madison, but you go towards Prairie du Chien, about 37 currently. That cold front is going to swipe through southern Wisconsin. Cooler air settling in for us tonight and for tomorrow. We are expecting a few visibility concerns. Notice the lower lying areas may see some patchy fog for us this evening. But right now in Madison, it's not too much of a concern, and that breeze still coming from the west-southwest. About 10 miles per hour in Madison right now, but we're picking up 20 closer to Janesville, and that's sustained wind speeds. We could see gusts get just a little higher for us. Overnight temperatures will fall down to the 30s. It'll be colder to start the day on Friday, but we will have some sunshine in the forecast as we head towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Late in the day on Friday, that is. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for your weekend in just a few minutes. Right now, we do want to take a look at the roads currently because of all the rain and the snow melts. Things aren't exactly looking great on the roadways right now for us. Much of the Madison area not seeing major delays, but I do want to take a little closer look. All of those little squares or the construction signs that you see there, the road blockages, those are areas where at least one side of the road is blocked or closed off right now due to water on the roadway. You can see it just south or just north of New Glarus. The eastbound side of the Beltline quite a bit slower than the westbound side. We're not seeing any delays westbound right now. Up into Sauk County, the major roads look okay. Same goes down into Rock County right now, again on the major interstates, but I know there are many side roads right now having some problems with the water on the road. 26 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, Sauk City to Middleton, about 17 minutes, and the same goes for Sun Prairie to downtown if you're getting ready to hit the road right now. Please be a little careful, especially if you do have to take the back roads, just because we are getting reports of water on the roadways for a lot of little side country roads for us. No more rainfall expected for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That's the good news, but we do still have to get through this evening.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Dana.
First at 4, several communities in our area are dealing with severe flooding this afternoon.
And in one case, an evacuation of a downtown. We have reporters tonight in Lodi and Darlington, and we'll begin with our Rose Schmidt, who joins us from South Main Street in Lodi, where police are asking everyone to avoid the city. Rose?
Yes, well, Susan and Charlotte, the downtown area here in Lodi is reopened now just a few hours after they asked all these businesses and homes to evacuate. They have since been allowed to come back in and get their stuff back, but that includes the city hall and the fire department, and the police department. So if those are places you need to reach, please be aware of that. And the power and the gas are currently off. They are expected to stay that way for a while now. We're going to show you why all this is happening. If you look here, you'll see this is Spring Creek Park. You may know it as home of Susie the duck. You can see just how fast that water is rushing now. Now we're going to show you the latest Sky 3 video, which shows rushing water from the Spring Creek in Lodi due to melting snow. That water caused homes and businesses downtown to start flooding in their basements. Firefighters and MG&E were called downtown this afternoon after a strong natural gas smell coming from a flower shop on South Main Street. The police chief explains how flooding caused furnaces in some of the businesses to stop working, leading to this incident.
And when you have natural gas pumping gas into those furnaces, the furnaces are doing their job by evacuating the gas throughout the house, out through the exhaust. But now that we have significant gas leaks in the downtown area. So MG&E is here on scene. They are going to be shutting down a bunch of the gas to make sure we can alleviate this problem so it doesn't get any worse that way.
The National Weather Service told city officials that ice dams down Spring Creek are keeping that water from flowing, and that is what's causing this flooding. Volunteers have been out all day filling sandbags and trying to keep water out of people's basements. And the Red Cross did set up a temporary shelter for anyone whose home or business was affected by flooding. That's over at Lodi Elementary School. And we're going to show you again. Here's the Spring Creek, and we're told just today it actually broke a record. The former record was 8.4 feet, and that was back in 2008. Now today, 8.6 feet, and it continues to rise. So that was actually a number from this morning, so we're not even sure if it's higher now. Back to you, Susan and Charlotte.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting. Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Rose. In Darlington, rising water levels are forcing businesses along Main Street to evacuate.
Adam Dexter joins us from there with the latest on just how high the water is rising. Adam?
Well, Susan and Charlotte, we're on Main Street right now in Darlington, and take a look. A lot of these businesses evacuating, but as you can see, that Casey's gas station just down Main Street is getting the absolute worst of it right now as the Pecatonica River has risen to just above 17 feet. And we got that number confirmed by Darlington Police Chief Jason King, who spoke with us a moment ago and said that, yes, it has crested above 17 feet right now, just 1 foot shy of the highest it's been since the early 1990s. And when that happened in the early 90s, a lot of these businesses adapted downtown to be able to withstand flooding just like this, putting in some flood barriers. But even with 3 floods in 1 year, they still say it doesn't get any easier to deal with.
The comment I've been hearing all day long is this is getting old. You know, with it being the 3rd flood in 12 months, people are getting fed up with it. It's a major inconvenience. Even if we luck out and it doesn't affect any businesses or homes, it's still a major inconvenience because there's only one bridge.
Darlington's great. They come and they help, and bless their hearts. That's one thing about Darlington, they have a big heart. They help.
And I made mention of those flood barriers just a moment ago. And if you want to take a look, this is one of the businesses on Main Street. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, these big metal gates in front of the doors. And if you actually go inside these businesses, all of them have an entry area and then a few steps that go up. And those entry areas are all coated in tile or cement as to withstand some of this flooding that we're seeing. But again, the latest numbers that we're seeing right now is that the Pecatonica River is up at about 17 feet. Just 1 foot shy of the flooding seen here in the early 1990s. Again, we'll continue to monitor that as tonight goes on.
Adam Dexter reporting tonight. Adam, thank you.
Despite a veto threat from the president, the Senate has voted to pass a resolution of disapproval to strike down the president's national emergency declaration for the border wall. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
The Senate voted to block President Trump's national emergency for border wall funding.
The yeas are 59, the nays are 41. The joint resolution is passed.
The resolution passed with 12 Republicans joining Democrats.
I take my hats off to those members on the other side of the aisle who have let principle rise above party.
One of them was Utah freshman Senator Mitt Romney.
Congress has spoken. The president can't overrule the decision of Congress.
But President Trump again threatened to veto the measure during an Oval Office meeting with the Prime Minister of Ireland.
Whether it's positive or not, I'm vetoing it.
Senate Republicans and some Democrats argue their support of the resolution is not about the border wall, but about the Constitution and the separation of powers. President Trump pushed back on that argument.
The legal scholars all say it's totally constitutional.
Congress is not expected to garner enough votes to override a presidential veto. In Washington, Nicole Killian for News 3 Now.
President Trump tweeted the word veto in all capital letters minutes after the resolution passed.
Flight experts in France now have the black boxes from Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302. Aviation experts will spend the rest of the week analyzing the cockpit voice and data recorders, which could reveal why the Boeing 737 MAX 8 jet went down, killing 157 people, including 8 Americans. On Wednesday, the U.S. joined a list of 50 countries grounding the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. Airlines have delayed or canceled thousands of flights.
I think it was the right decision given that the rest of the world is doing the same thing.
At the crash site in Ethiopia, crews are working to identify remains. Family members of the victims continue to grieve as they wait for answers.
Beto O'Rourke has officially thrown his hat into the 2020 presidential race. O'Rourke ran and lost his race for the U.S. Senate in Texas last year. But even though he didn't win, he gained enough national attention to make himself viable to be a presidential candidate, something he made official today by tweeting a video.
We can begin by fixing our democracy and ensuring that our government works for everyone.
The former Texas congressman wasted no time hitting the campaign trail, holding his first event in Iowa about an hour after he announced. O'Rourke joins a long list of Democratic hopefuls, which may also eventually include former Vice President Joe Biden.
An accomplished legislator who left his imprint on the U.S. Constitution and the world of sports has died. Former Senator Birch Bayh was the father of Evan Bayh, who served as governor and senator from Indiana. During his 3 terms in the Senate, the Indiana Democrat was one of the main architects of the 25th and 26th Amendments to the Constitution. Bayh was also the co-author of Title IX, a 1972 education amendment that gave women equal opportunity to participate in sports. Birch Bayh was 91 years old. When we come back, Emmy Fink joins us with what's going on around town this weekend,
including the St. Patrick's Day Parade on the Capitol Square. That's when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
British lawmakers have voted to delay the UK's departure from Brexit for at least 3 months.
This comes just 15 days before the country was scheduled to leave the European Union. President Donald Trump says Britain's debate over leaving the European Union is tearing the country apart. Trump made the comment as he welcomed Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar to the White House for an early St. Patrick's Day celebration. Trump said he gave advice to British Prime Minister Theresa May, but she did not listen to him.
On Wall Street, the Nasdaq and the S&P closed lower for the first time in 4 days after the release of weak home sales. The Dow managed to gain 7 points. The Nasdaq lost 12, and the S&P 500 was down 2.5. Well, the weekend in the 608 is almost here.
And here with a look at what's going on in the area is WISC contributor Emmy Fink, +1.
Hi, Emmy. You're all ready for St. Patrick's Day.
Half, you know?
Yes.
You're getting really close. When's your due date?
4 weeks. 4 weeks. So hopefully, you know,
sooner than later, right?
Hopefully I'm here with you for 4 more weeks, and then I'm out of here for a little bit. But yeah, it's a holiday weekend on tap. We can't beat that.
Well, let's start first with some of Cuba's best musicians.
This is exciting.
Oh man, okay, I got excited just pulling up some of the YouTube videos. So get ready to salsa, rumba, and cha-cha right in your seat with the Havana Cuba All-Stars. It's a band of more than 12 members, and they're going to be joined at the Overture with 3 of Cuba's best dancing couples. They're going to produce a high-energy celebration show. It's going to melt our little Wisconsin hearts and just make you feel like dancing. And that's Friday at 8 o'clock.
Okay, and there's a different sound at the Overture after that.
Right, you know, maybe rumba and cha-cha is not your thing, and that's okay, but go back the next night because singer-songwriter Roseanne Cash, of course, the daughter of Johnny Cash, so you know she has good things in those vocal cords, and her husband John Leventhal are going to bring their Grammy Award-winning material, the 2014 album The River and the Thread, to the Capitol Theater stage. So a soulful I'm having trouble. Thank you. Performance on Saturday. It's so fun when artists who are married are on stage together. I just love to watch the chemistry.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm excited
I agree.
for that one.
We're all Irish this weekend, and there's a lot going on for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, even if you're not, it's okay to be a poser this weekend. You know, because really just say that you are. And for some Saturday morning family fun, you can stop by the Dream Bank for a special St. Patty's Day celebration. Bring your creative spirit and your kids, because Funny Faces Entertainment will have face painting from 10 until 12, along with some crafting and coloring for the kids. It's all free. Dream Bank.
Oh, that's great.
Dream Bank's great.
That's huge. And so there's a restaurant that's taking a break from their German roots this weekend as well.
Right, well, we all know it. If you want the Buddha beer, everyone knows where to go. Well, the Essen House and their neighbors that come back in, they're going all Irish Friday through Sunday with live Irish and polka music, of course, green beer, corned beef and cabbage, Irish stew, shepherd's pie, you name it, an all Irish menu and music all weekend long to complete the theme Friday through Sunday.
Oh, that's great. And then, of course, the annual parade downtown.
This is a blast.
You can't miss that. Sunday at 1:30, Capitol Square. The 22nd annual St. Patrick's Day Parade is going to celebrate everything Irish. And the best part is that the proceeds go to the UW Carbone Cancer Center, Gigi's Playhouse of Madison, and Logan's Hearts and Smiles.
Oh,
so,
that's wonderful.
And, you know, I think Sunday is supposed to be a nice day, right?
Yeah, it is supposed to be a little bit warmer.
Dana, I was listening to you.
The Grand Marshal, by the way, this year is Charlie Behrens, who you might have seen here on Live at 4. He's the guy who does the Manitowoc Minute.
Oh, that's right.
So he's the Grand Marshal for the parade. So that'll be fun, too.
Well, perfect reason to go out.
Yeah, enjoy. Take your little Leona this weekend.
Yeah, I think we should. And happy St. Patrick's Day to you guys. Glad you're doing okay.
Thanks. I hope we'll see you next week. 2 more weeks, maybe.
And am I going to see you next week for like 6 weeks in a row?
Might as well. It's a trend at this point.
Filling in for me, now she's filling in for Mark.
You guys just cover each other's backs. I love it.
Thanks, Emmy. Have a good weekend. And you can read much more about what's going on around town this weekend in the current issue of Madison Magazine.
Coming up, an American astronaut hopes his second chance in space is a lucky one.
His first attempt nearly ended in disaster. We'll have that story coming up after Dana's forecast.
Take a look at this. This squirrel's got a story to tell. Her name is Thumbelina. This little princess was born in New York City under the pillow of a human who had left his window open. After her mother abandoned her, local rehabbers took her in. A wildlife vet decided she couldn't live safely in the wild, so now she spends her days with her new mom and dad, playing, snuggling, and enjoying treats like an avocado.
Like an avocado.
Now, how could you not smile looking at
So
that?
apparently you can, you know, have a squirrel as a pet.
Don't leave your window open.
No, keep your pillows inside.
Oh my goodness. It is National Pie Day, and I had a bite already.
Yep.
And for the 7th year in a row, News 3 Now this morning conducted its annual Pie Day pie eating contest.
To the Hubbard Avenue Diner we go, where several familiar faces, there's Dave Caulfield and Live at 4 film critic Will Loper. They stuffed their faces with a 3-pound pie taco. Have you seen these things that Jason makes over there? The contestants found it tough navigating the massive French silk pie creations. They only had 1 minute to eat as much as they could. Jason, known as the Pie Guy, is the mastermind behind the contest. And this, he says, is his Super Bowl.
It's kind of fun to come up with a new idea of what we're going to do for the pie eating contest, and just to see all the different types of people coming in and trying different types of pie and having fun and enjoying it and smiling.
Now, ultimately, it was Will who took the crown. Well done, Will. Fun fact, Will won News 3 Now's inaugural Pie Day contest. Back in 2013, he walks away with a trophy and a year's worth of free pie from the Hubbard Avenue Diner.
I heard from Dave earlier that it was a lot of chocolate. It was very, very, very good, but
Steffo, the producer who was in there, she's not feeling so well. So she's been sitting in her desk like, oh.
3-pound taco of chocolate.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Next year, we'll have to get you in on that.
All right, I didn't know. I totally would have been there. It sounds right
You've
up my
got
alley.
connections.
Okay, thanks,
All right,
guys.
so it's getting cooler out there, huh?
It really is. It's windy outside. It's cloudy outside. In some areas dealing with rain right now. This is really what the rest of your evening looks like. We'll take a closer look at your forecast right after the break. So while Dave was eating pie this morning, some of us were outside enjoying the sunshine. I spent a little bit of time at Westside Elementary School, actually up in Sun Prairie, talking with their third graders. And we had such a great visit this morning. These kids were full of awesome questions about the flooding that came through in August, the current river levels, and just the difference between weather and climate and what we usually see here in southern Wisconsin. So a fantastic visit for myself and for all of the third graders at Westside Elementary. A huge thank you for inviting me out there. Now, you can always send us an email, weather@WISC-TV.com. Contact myself, Gary, Dave, Hattie, Chris, the whole crew. We're always willing to come out and hang out for a little bit for any sort of school visit that comes on for us. Now, here's a look at our time lapse over the last few hours. The showers sliding right over the station for us. Right now, we have a cloudy scene outside, and we're expected to stay cloudy overnight. We may still have a few little showers right now on our weather cam. You can see raindrops on the camera lens for us. They're wiggling around, not because it's raining for us, but because of the wind. Our tower being blown around just a little bit. It's windy outside, and the gusts have been picking up a little bit over the last few hours. So here's a look at our Doppler track. That heavier band of showers that came through a few hours ago, now up into central Wisconsin, swinging through fairly quickly for us. Some light little isolated showers in the southwest corner of the state, and we're going to continue to see some scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms for us overnight and into early Friday morning. As this area of low pressure continues to travel northeast, we're watching our temperatures right now throughout southern Wisconsin steadily fall. Of course, we started the day close to 50. That's not where we're going to end the day for us. Light rain possible at times, and then later on tonight and early Friday morning, we're going to steadily transition to some mixed precipitation and then light snowfall possible early in the morning on Friday. Because the ground is so warm and wet, we aren't expecting any accumulation, but if you do have to head out the door early on Friday, you may see, again, a few snowflakes swirling around. Skies clear up overnight into Saturday, and Saturday we're actually looking at a mostly sunny sky. It won't be too bad outside for us for the weekend. We do still have a flood watch in effect for most of the state until Friday morning. Of course, the concern is still some isolated flooding spots on our roadways, and we're keeping a close eye on several rivers right now throughout the state. We are going to have these showers slide on through overnight. Our temperatures will just fall for us. We'll be starting the day off in the mid to low 30s, so we do have that chance again for a little rain snow mix, but not expecting much to come through, and certainly none of it'll stick. Our skies steadily clear out heading into Saturday morning. Saturday, our temperatures will drop into the 20s early in the day, and then for our afternoon highs, we'll be in the mid 30s. So it is going to be a little cooler for Friday and Saturday, a little below average rather than so far above average like what we had for yesterday and today. Our wind speeds, though, will finally calm down as we head towards Saturday. Right now, coming from for Friday morning, coming from the northwest in the teens. In the afternoon, our sustained wind speeds will be in the mid to low 20s. Wind gusts will be just a little higher than that. By Saturday morning, we back off into the low teens for our wind speeds early on in the day, and then later in the afternoon, expecting those wind speeds to be in the single digits or just below 10 miles per hour. Scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. It'll be a little breezy tonight. Those temperatures holding steady in the middle 30s. Heading into tomorrow morning, we'll be in the upper 30s for our afternoon highs, mid to upper 30s for us throughout southern Wisconsin. It'll be windy and just a little colder outside. We aren't going to be close to 60 again. Again, there's a little bit of a chance for some snow early on in the morning, but it's not an all day long event, and it's not going to be much coming through for us. Any mix will end early in the day, and then we have clouds throughout most of the day. We may see a little clearing later on. Temperatures will stay pretty close to average in the low 40s heading into the start of next week. St. Patrick's Day looks all right on Sunday. It'll be mostly sunny and pretty pleasant in the low 40s. We aren't expecting it to be too gusty either. Sun stays with us actually as we extend into much of the next work week. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, and it should be pretty nice outside. We'll steadily warm up towards the end of next week again.
That'll be wonderful.
Oh, that'll feel really nice.
Yes, it's going to feel great. And as you notice there, to get a nice stretch of just dry sunshine, that's really going to help us, of course, with some evaporation and to clear out some of this water.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Well, a team of astronauts blasted into space this afternoon on their way to the International Space Station.
For one American, it's a second chance after a harrowing escape, as Kenneth Craig explains.
And liftoff.
The Russian Soyuz rocket gave it another go Thursday afternoon, and this time around, the spacecraft with 3 astronauts strapped in successfully started its 6-hour journey to the International Space Station.
The 4 booster separations have been confirmed.
For American Nick Hague, it's a second chance. 5 months ago, his first flight was aborted less than 2 minutes after takeoff. A faulty sensor caused a booster to malfunction, and the capsule parachuted back to Earth.
And the crew is out of the capsule. Reports so far that they are in good condition.
Hague was philosophical about the harrowing mishap.
Life doesn't always work out the way you plan it. And more often than not, what defines you is how you bounce back from that.
Weeks after the ordeal, he was back in training.
I feel very fortunate to have the second opportunity and to be here today preparing for that second flight.
His wife, Katie, admits to a case of nerves.
Every little piece has to work perfectly, and it's scary. To be the spouse and to watch it from the outside is very scary.
Hague's travel companions are his old crewmate Alexei Ovchinin and American Christina Cook. They'll spend 7 months on the space station. Their first spacewalk is already scheduled for next week. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Christina Cook will join astronaut Anne McClain, who is already at the space station. Later this month, they'll conduct the first all-female spacewalk.
A lot of eyes will be wanting to watch that.
Godspeed.
When we come back, we are going green for St. Patrick's Day.
With some healthy recipes from the Gourmet RD, registered dietitian Julie Andrews joins us when Live at 4 continues. There's a live look just off the UW-Madison campus. That's an icy scene on this Thursday afternoon, but it's going to be warming up a little bit from here.
St. Patrick's Day is this Sunday.
If you're looking for some healthy dishes to serve besides maybe the traditional corned beef and cabbage, registered dietitian Julie Andrews is here with some great recipes, and they're all naturally green. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
You're in the spirit. Good to see you.
Yeah, look at all the green. We have all the fresh herbs and naturally green ingredients that we're using in our recipes today.
Okay, let's start on this side. What did you make here?
These are really fun because they're edamame falafel. So falafel is usually made with chickpeas or fava beans, which fava beans are green too, so you could use those.
Okay.
But you know what? I always have some edamame in my freezer, and you can just use the frozen kind. Let it thaw and mix it up with some garlic, a little bit of panko breadcrumbs, and a bunch of seasonings and herbs. And you can bake them instead of fry them.
I was just going to say traditional falafel are fried, aren't they?
Yes, they're usually deep fried. So they get that golden brown crust when they're deep fried, but you can actually put them in the oven and bake them and then run it on a broil for just a couple minutes and get a nice little crust on the outside.
That's good.
And then they're healthier for you.
Yeah, you'd never know.
But they're super delicious. I mean, the herbs really come out, which is my favorite part.
Okay, and then we've got these bad boys here.
Yes, so these are spanakopita chicken meatballs. So they have ground chicken, but then they also have chopped up spinach, garlic, and feta cheese. And some fresh herbs. More fresh herbs.
So it's sort of a Greek Mediterranean diet recipe. And then do you serve it with this sauce?
Yeah, so this sauce is kind of like a traditional pesto. So it has Parmesan cheese, garlic, olive oil, but it's made with dill and spinach instead of basil.
I wish you guys could smell this at home. Doesn't it smell divine?
Give me a spoon. I would eat all of this right now.
Well, and you could put that on salmon or chicken. It would just be really good with, or with a spoon, like you said.
You just made that up in a blender or a food processor?
Yeah, I use the food processor.
Okay.
Super easy.
Okay, it looks like kind of like guacamole, but it's not.
Yeah, so this is a whipped avocado dip that has white beans in it.
How did you? Sounds really healthy.
Yeah, so this is also made in the food processor. So you throw 3 avocados, so it's really heart healthy, has those really good monounsaturated fats, with a can of chickpeas. And then you can add any herbs you like. I did some dill, some basil, and then some parsley. And then lemon juice. So it's kind of like a hummus, but it has avocado instead of tahini.
Oh,
so
great idea.
Beautifully green. It's something perfect for like a St. Patrick's Day party.
Serve it with some chips?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, what do you make? What sauce are you making?
So this is actually for the edamame falafel. This is a dip.
Okay.
So it's actually a mayo, a spicy lemon mayo. So we just add a little sriracha.
Oh, I love sriracha.
Me too, I know, it's so good. And then a little bit of fresh lemon juice. Actually kind of a lot, but it's that's a good thing. And then some garlic. And we just mix that together. Really easy. And then we can serve our falafel with it.
And you just dip the falafel in like a little dipping sauce?
Yeah, and that's what I kind of like about both the falafel and the chicken meatballs, is they're perfect for parties because you can just set them out and put them with the dip, and then they become more of an appetizer. So it's perfect for a St. Patrick's Day party.
And all of these recipes couldn't be more healthy.
Right?
I mean, they're all fresh, healthy ingredients.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but they're delicious, so you don't even really think about them like that.
So you could have these on the side along with the corned beef and cabbage if you have to have the traditional foods there.
Exactly. Or a green beer. Some people
go
for that.
Can't forget about that.
That would be perfect.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
All of the recipes are available on Julie's website. It is thegourmetrd.com. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thanks, you too.
Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being green with us.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
Thank you.
When we come back, let the madness begin.
The Badgers prepare for their appearance in the Big Ten men's basketball tournament. Sports director Jay Wilson breaks out the bracket board when Live at 4 continues.
So right now we're looking at the Beltline right at Park Street, seeing delays on both sides, but as usual, the eastbound side. A lot more brake lights in that direction. All of these little road blockage orange squares that you see are different parts of roadways that are blocked right now or completely closed due to water on the roads. We'll take a little closer look here at what's going on near Perry and Hollandale. Again, sections of road, not just little pieces, but some portions of the roadways closed. So if you aren't traveling on the major arteries, you do have any back roads that you do need to take, definitely plan on going a little slower in your drive home. Likely going to take you just a little longer because you want to keep both eyes on the road, and you may have to take a few alternative routes. Eastbound's where we're seeing the brake lights. You get a little closer to 151, down to about 14 miles per hour, closer to 51, and then heading 39 and 90, up a little bit higher with your speeds. Westbound doesn't look nearly as bad. And to Sauk County, again, those road closures right now around Perry to Sac and then getting even further north, all due to flooding for us because of the snow melt. And we're keeping a close eye on our rivers as well, as we've been talking about so far for the last several hours. Northbound Verona to the Beltline, about 6 minutes, 7 minutes from Oregon to the Beltline, and then from Springfield to University Avenue will take you just about 4 minutes. And then if you're traveling from Janesville to the Beltline, it's about a 27-minute drive right now, 17 minutes for Sauk City to Middleton, and 20 minutes southbound from Sun Prairie to downtown. Again, give yourself a little extra time if you can on the roads, especially if you do have to take any rural routes for your way home. That's a quick look at traffic.
Thank you, Dana. New York has been named the most exciting city in the world right now by global magazine Time Out. The Big Apple bested competition from the likes of Chicago, Los Angeles, Melbourne, and London. The Time Out Index 2019 also indicated that New York was the city most people wanted to visit this year. Melbourne, Australia came in second place, with Chicago in third.
Well, the Big Ten men's basketball tournament started yesterday. It runs through Sunday in Chicago.
The Badgers play at 2 o'clock tomorrow against...
You want to know? It just ended a little bit ago.
Yes, do tell.
Well, everybody thought Maryland would win.
Uh-huh.
Ha!
Really?
Surprise!
This would be called an upset. Nebraska has 8 guys in the team, only 6 are on scholarship because they've had injuries and a couple of guys leave. So it's Nebraska-Wisconsin in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament. I mean, I would have given you a plug nickel at the start of the day on that. Yeah. So
well, maybe we're underestimating Nebraska, huh?
Yeah, or maybe they're dog tired after playing 2 games in 2 days, and Wisconsin gets getting some softened up.
So would people say, "Oh, this is going to be an easy game for UW"?
Absolutely, everybody's going to say an easy game.
But then,
just like Rutgers said last night, and just like Maryland said today about Maryland.
Yeah.
Now, Wisconsin played Maryland back in January in Lincoln, and Wisconsin won 62-51. So they won by 11 points on Nebraska's home court, and Nebraska has fewer guys left.
Okay.
But Nebraska's won 2 games already this week. Wisconsin hasn't won any. James Palmer is a guy he scored 34 points last night for Nebraska. He scored 24 again today. So Wisconsin's forte is defense. They're the 8th best defensive team in the country. So you got to figure they'll devise a plan to slow down this James Palmer fellow.
Yeah.
But I am beyond shocked that Nebraska's going to play Wisconsin.
Wow. So how does the rest of the bracket look for the tournament?
Well, yeah, this is the upper half of the bracket. And earlier today, Ohio State beat Indiana 79-75. So it's Ohio State and Michigan State. That's the number 1, the top seed in this part of the bracket against Nebraska and Wisconsin. Nebraska's like 13th seed. So of the 14 teams, they're 13th.
Okay.
And Wisconsin's a 4. And you really see, we talked about getting the double bye, finishing 4th in the conference, and getting a 2 days off to start the tournament.
Right.
Well, Nebraska, like I said, short lineup as far as the number of people, and Wisconsin's been resting. So that's another reason why that matchup goes so well. Because I really thought if Maryland got there, I wasn't confident Wisconsin would beat them.
Okay, so after they all play, what would be the ideal 2?
For Wisconsin?
For Wisconsin, yeah.
Ohio State.
Because why?
Well, they beat them Sunday in Ohio State's home, for one thing. And Michigan State's loaded. They've got the Conference Player of the Year in Cassius Winston. They've got Nick Ward, who's a really big, good guy, 2nd-team All-Conference. He's just coming back from an injury. So they're going to be at full staff. So
we don't want them.
Oh, I know some guys that went to Michigan State. They're all for this. So I'm going to put Michigan State there. And
okay.
Good Lord, how can you not beat
Wow.
They only have
Don't
8
jinx
guys.
it.
Yeah, they only have 8 guys. Now,
okay.
Now, this is another discussion.
Right.
Michigan State's really good. They beat Wisconsin at the Kohl Center not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
That game's going to be on Channel 3, noon on Saturday.
Okay.
If they make it that far. I mean, the
it
game won't be
happens.
televised, but whether it's these 2 guys, we're not sure yet. And then if Wisconsin would win that, they play in the championship Sunday afternoon at 2:30 against Purdue or Michigan are the top teams down here on the lower
Okay.
side. So,
And that's also on Channel 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
what? You asked me.
Yes.
I'm
No,
not
I
gonna lie
like
to you.
that. I like that
They're really
grit.
good. Michigan State's always good at the end of the year. Tom Izzo always has his guys playing great.
Wow. Now, what are the implications for the big dance?
Well, in a seeding sense, I mean, if Wisconsin would lose to Nebraska, right now they're considered to be a 4th seed.
Uh-huh.
If they lose to Nebraska, they might slip to a 5. But if they can get all the way here, I mean.
But the Badgers will go to the tournament.
They're in.
And
They're in. No
Sunday
matter
is
what
Selection
happens.
Sunday.
Yeah, and after missing last year, I mean, last year was not good. I mean, isn't that weird to not have Wisconsin in the tournament after all those years?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
back to work, back on the road.
Okay.
We'll see.
I like it
We'll
better
see.
like this.
Yeah.
I like it with the Badgers on
I gotta
top.
be honest with you, though.
All right. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Carry on.
We'll be right back. Things cooling off a little bit.
Cooling off, drying up, but we do still have that flood watch in effect until tomorrow morning. That, of course, due to all of the snow melts, the ground softening up a little bit, and the rain potential for us tonight. So here's a look at the last few hours. We're expecting some scattered showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorms through the rest of the evening and overnight. Right now we're at about 43. Our temperatures are just going to continue to fall for us into the mid-30s by early tomorrow morning, but we'll be in the 40s for much of your evening if you do have any plans. And if you are stepping out the door, of course, make sure you have the umbrella on hand. It won't be raining too hard for most of the area, but it's just going to kind of be a drizzly, dreary evening for us, unfortunately.
We just got to move through all this.
Yes, the weekend does look nice. There's the light at the end of the tunnel.
All right. Thank you. Tomorrow on Live at 4, the author of The Batter's Box returns home to Madison. His book focuses on PTSD of World War II vets.
And we go backstage with Michael Bruno for Edgewood High School's production of Godspell. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. Today in our final touch, it's a glorious time of year in Southern California. It's